Mr. Evans, would you
Yes,
please
sir.
give your full name and DOC number?
Don Michael Evans. My DOC number is 492782.
Mr. Evans, let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record, and then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we will allow those persons who wish to have input to speak. The only person here today speaking is in opposition to your parole, and that's Mr. Randy Meyer with the Jefferson Parish District Attorney's Office. Once we have the hearing, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to the board, and then we'll vote. You understand our process?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Don M. Evans, DOC number 492782, date of birth March 26th of 1984. He's classified as a sixth felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of July the 23rd of 2023. He is not eligible for good time. He has a full term date of April the 23rd of 2027. He is currently serving a 5-year sentence on the charge of possession with intent to distribute methamphetamines and possession of alprazolam, having been adjudicated a habitual offender. Is that information basically correct, Mr. Evans?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Evans, your case has been assigned to Ms. Pearl Wise, which means she'll begin the process of our interview with you today. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Pearl.
How's it going?
It's all right. I'm blessed.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You have an interesting situation to me. You got 14 years of education, but you got tattoos that says "We Dollar Bill 504, Hate by Playboy, and Chopper City, and the Skull Crawl." So explain that to me. Explain your education to me first.
Well, the one that you said is read wrong. It says hated by plenty, loved by few, respected by all. But
on here, it just got hate by Playboy. That's all they got.
Yeah, that was wrong. Chopper City was a music company. I had a friend, he owned a music company. It was called Chopper City Records.
Okay.
But that's another name they call for New Orleans. But I mean, I regret all this. If I can get it going, I get it going.
You don't want to speak to the weed $504. You don't want to speak to that one?
Oh, the weed. I used something in the past. I used to smoke weed.
Oh, I thought maybe you were selling weed $sign.
Nah, I didn't never sell no drugs, man.
Okay. So tell me about your 14 years of education.
I have 11 years of education, actually.
Oh, so that's wrong too. The record says.
Yes, man. I went to Sarah T. Reed, and I had a bad car wreck, and so I got out at 11th grade because my memory was messed up. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was in a coma for a minute, but yeah, I had 11 years. I got up to the 11th grade. And
okay. And you was in regular classes at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, have you made any effort to go back and get your high set?
Nah, no, ma'am.
And you're the father of 4 children, right? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the ages of your children?
9, 11, 17, and 7.
All right. How many mothers is that?
2.
Okay. What was going on in your life when you got arrested for these charges?
Well, basically, I was working. I came out on a positive tip. I got out 2019, and I got a good job. And I was working, taking care of 3 children that was living in the household of me. I was working 10 to 14 hours a day. Mm-hmm. And by me working so long, I winded up, I did something the wrong way. I took care of the wrong way. I started taking pills to get up to attend work. Then I had to get off and help the kids with homework. Then I took pills to go to sleep. So it was basically, I was doing them to keep my job and to stay up, stay focused and go to sleep. So I was lacking sleep and I just had to stay up.
Okay. So this possession was for your personal use? Yes,
ma'am.
Okay. So how long have you been using drugs? What age you start?
I started smoking marijuana probably about 20.
Okay. That's kind of late.
Yeah.
So after the accident, what was your life like? You out of school, you had the accident. Did you get on SSI? How was
I didn't get on SSI.
Okay.
I was good. After the accident, it was probably about a year and a half later. I was way better. I just lost memory, and I had a disorder in learning.
Okay.
So I got back on track. So
You had a
everything-
disorder because of the accident, you had a disorder prior to the accident.
I had a disorder because my brain, I had
That's after the accident. The
during the
disorder-
accident. During the accident, I got hit by a car. My head went through the window.
Mhm. Okay, let me try to phrase this differently now. Before, I thought you had already answered it. Before the accident, you were in regular classes on track.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
high
yes, ma'am.
school.
Before the
Okay.
accident. Yes,
Okay,
before the
right.
accident. Then when I had the accident, I had my head collision with the window, and I had blood coming from my brain and stuff. So they put me in a concussion because I couldn't have surgery because I had bones broken in my face. I had to wait till my face healed.
Yeah, so you're a miracle today. We're looking at a miracle, a medical
Yes,
miracle.
ma'am.
When you
Yes,
say,
ma'am. Yes,
and
ma'am.
when I look at your arrest history, you were age 19, 2003, when you got your first arrest involving marijuana, possession with the intent to distribute marijuana at age 19. And
No,
how
I had possession, ma'am. It was just possession.
that's right, possession with intent to distribute is what the record shows.
Oh, all right.
Okay,
I didn't
but
know.
the charge was refused. So how old are you today?
Today I am 39, ma'am.
So at age from 19 to 39, you've been getting arrested involving drugs.
I got arrested 2 times involving drugs, ma'am.
Yep, 2 times, and you had some burglary charges and unauthorized heavily dwelling, possession of stolen things. So, and I speak to that. What's that all about? And then you had 2 domestic abuse batteries too.
Yes, ma'am.
How did we end up here?
Well, with the burglaries, I don't know what I was thinking about the burglary. That was my first.
What were you stealing for? What were you gonna do with the proceeds? What did you steal for?
At that time, I wasn't messing with it. I was stealing just because, but I learned from that. So I never really got back into that.
Okay,
There's really no excuse. I just messed up with that one.
okay.
I don't have no explanation, but as far as the domestics, I had problems with my baby mother. I know, I regret that. That was as far as her hitting my kid, pushed the kid down the stairs, and I made a mistake and pushed her, and I caught a domestic charge. But I didn't know any better about the law, so
Mhm.
I could have. I know I could have beat it, but I didn't know any better. I just took something to get out of jail. I went upon the wrong way. I did a lot of stuff I went upon the wrong way without thinking.
Okay. And now on your arrest this time, the police report said they went through your phone and they saw messages that made the officers thinking that you were dealing drugs.
Yes,
But your
ma'am.
statement today is that you were not.
No, I wasn't, but I intended on, but I did not, man.
Oh, what you say? What now? You intended on?
I intended on. I was going to sell something, but I did not because I got, I didn't have time and I got caught.
Okay.
I didn't sell anything, man.
Okay. Do you? I look like you had Blue Walters back in 2016, right? September 16 to December 16. You completed Blue Walters, right?
Yes.
And
Nice
how long
program.
did you stay clean after that?
I give it about a year or 2.
About a year or 2. Okay. Do you think you need any more treatment?
I would take some. I mean, to better myself.
I want a yes or no.
Yes, ma'am. I would take yes.
Do you what is if you're successful today and you're released, what would be the first thing you would do to stay clean and sober?
I'll join a rehab center.
Okay. What you mean join a rehab center?
I'll go back to rehab. I once was in rehab.
What rehab program were you in?
It was what it was called.
It was a residential or was it
It was a residential. It was a residential. It was a real rehab center, but it was in a residence in the 6th ward. It was called I forgot the name of it, man. But I did attend one. My probation officer sent me to one.
Okay, so it was outpatient or did you live there?
Oh, I lived there, man.
Lived there, okay.
Yeah. I stayed there for 30 days.
And is this the longest time you've been in jail?
This is the longest time I have, but this is not the longest time I've been in jail.
Okay, how long you been in jail before?
I don't remember offhand, but I think about 20-something months,
Okay. And you've been in jail how long this time?
16 months, ma'am. To be
16
exact,
months.
almost 16 months.
On this 5-year sentence, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what kind of employment plans you have if you were successful today?
Well, I have a job. My auntie gave me a job as far as right now, a subway just to have something to do
Yeah, that's right.
when I get out. But I have I'm going back to my old job because I was getting paid real good money there, and I made a mistake, and like I regret everything I've done because I was taking care of my kids, and now I let them down. I'm back here, so I'm go back to my job because I was getting paid real good.
Good, but now we know that money is not it, is it? Good, having a
Now,
good job and money is not it, huh?
no,
And look
that's
at your
not it.
supervision history, you got you've been on supervision about 5 times, and you completed it 2 times, earning compliance credit the last 2 times, and you had 3 revocations. I
Yes,
just
ma'am.
want to state that for the record. And there is some law enforcement opposition to your release, and the DA is going to speak today. I'm just really concerned about you, but I'm glad to hear the positive comments from the warden about how you're doing.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
all I had, Jim.
Thank you very much. Mr. Meyer,
Good morning, Randy Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. At this time, we're opposed to Mr. Evans. One is insufficient time served, but the biggest reason is he needs some programming. And I think he needs more than substance abuse. He clearly needs some substance abuse treatment. You know, he says he was in an outpatient rehab. Inpatient for 30 days while he was on the street. And he also, the record shows he completed Blue Walters under a prior incarceration. Then when he got out, he's back using drugs again. I think long-term substance abuse treatment is very much needed for him. His criminal records concerning, I show 4 domestic abuse offenses and 1 violation of a protective order. So that's 5 related to domestic abuse. And what concerns me is that he admitted to 1 domestic abuse issue, that he did something with one of his kids, the mother of some of his kids. But then he says he could have beat it. If he understood it, he could have beat it. Well, you don't beat a woman. That's what he needs to beat. That's what he needs to understand with some anger management of how to deal with things so that those types of situations don't arise again. And he's had a couple of weapons offenses, which are very concerning to me. And finally, when Ms. Wise asked him about dealing drugs, he said, no, he never dealt drugs until she brought up the fact that they found on his phone that he was dealing. Well, yeah, I was gonna deal drugs this time, but I got caught, so I didn't deal drugs. For all those reasons, we're opposed to his request at this time.
thank you, Mr. Meyer. Mr. Evans, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before the board votes?
No, sir. Like I said, it was a big mistake. Everything I done, I understand. I take full responsibility for what I did. But what I was saying about when I said I could have beat it, I was talking about basically as far as I didn't know the law. Like they said, Mr. Evans, by me knowing some of the cases I didn't do, I just sat there and I said I took anything that came to me. And I know I could have made it out of jail if I would have just waited. I was desperate to get out. And that's why I made my biggest mistake. But I regret everything I did with the woman. All us, we're good now today. We don't have no problems. We see eye to eye. That was my past. I made a big mistake with that. So.
Ms. Baker, can you hear me?
I recommend executive session.
Okay,
1 second.
there's been a motion for executive session. Is there a second?
Second.
Call roll, please. Yes,
Parole.
Yes.
Yes.
there has been a motion, and a second, to go into executive session. The board is going to be at recess momentarily while we go into executive session to discuss matters of confidential nature. We'll be at recess shortly and we'll return with a decision. Okay, the board is back in session. Time is 10:12. Board is ready to vote.
I want to
Ms.
say
Ms.
the
Wise?
Twin Speak worker.
Mr. Evans, I'm torn. I really want to
Yeah.
do right by you, because you're a sex offender and you need a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
Jefferson Parish is a very, very good place, but I think you don't got clean enough off drugs until you are thinking clearly. But I do think you need more work, and I'm just not willing to take a chance on it, but it's just me. My vote is to deny because of insufficient time served. I think you need a long-term substance abuse treatment program. You need something you need parenting classes, you need anger management, you need a lot of stuff that hasn't got. I am encouraged what the staff said, how well you're doing, and you're trusting. I want you to keep it up and reapply as soon as you're eligible. I'm gonna make it open the record that I would definitely agree to another hearing if you reapply. But for me, I'm just not quite ready to take a chance on it. That's what
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Mr. Freeman?
I concur, Mr. Evans. I'm just worried. I don't want you to come back. You're six to spend the next time probably 30, 40 years. You know, let's try to get some classes. And, you know, hopefully they'll send you to a long-term substance abuse, which also has a little domestic violence class.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Evans, I've listened to you intently, and I agree with what everybody said, including what Mr. Myers said. I think you need some long-term substance abuse and also some treatment for your domestic abuse issues. I look at it a little differently. I think I would grant you today conditionally upon your going to the Steve Hoyle program and completing that program. They have many aspects of all of the things I think you need. But you have 2 votes to deny, so that won't happen today. But hopefully, you might be able to get that program, or you will take some other programs, come back before us. Maybe that may be what would happen. We encourage you to continue working hard. Perhaps the next time, it'll be more favorable.
All right, thank you.